Are you wanting more willpower in your life? Well, today I'm going to talk about this and what you can do about this. If you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. I want to mention, first of all, that if you want a specific topic for me to talk about on this podcast, love to hear from you. Just drop it in the poll below this podcast episode. Willpower. I've tried to do many things in my life, and tried and done many things in my life, right? And sometimes it's exhausted me. Like sometimes try and attempt to do something or doing something is absolutely exhausted me. Other times it's been effortless and it's become effortless over time. So what I've learned in terms of willpower, and there's a great book I'm going to recommend, Willpower Doesn't Work by Benjamin Hardy, that will really blow your mind. In fact, I'm going to reread it again, I think. Is basically willpower is very, very small. You can do like something one-off or just get going with something. It doesn't work in the long run. And for me, I found that's very, very true. Creating podcasts every week, like people are like, oh, you need a lot of will to do that. At the beginning, I needed to push myself to understand the research. Do you know what I'm really good at though, in anything I do, is creating systems and processes that make things sustainable. And that's what I found has been really, really key in my life. And that includes anything in my life, exercise, even like things like research, making podcasts, of course, many, many things in my life, projects I'm working on, making them into systems, right? Because like if I try and force myself to do something every day, I've got those systems in place, it's going to be exhausting. It's not going to be sustainable. So ask yourself, how does relying on willpower really help you? Now we're going to talk about some ways you can move through this in a moment. Totally been guilty of being like, willpower. I need to work out. When I found actually I made it more digestible, I set myself up to win. I had a group of people to go to the gym with, or work out with, or go to classes. I found it a lot more sustainable, or made it fun, right? So here are some points I find is really useful to work through things rather than rely on willpower. The environment in your life is going to be huge, both the people you hang out with and where you're living. So if you're in a messy place, your mind is going to be messy. Now, I'm going to be honest, I could improve being cleaner, right? It's something I'm working on. Yet I realised when I've got things tidy, I've got things in the system, I found that it's a lot less effort to do things. I'm like, oh, okay, there's my book to read this morning. There's my journal to journal in. There's my planner. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to pop to the gym because I've got my gym kit like laid out, or I know where it is, right? So environment is a really big factor. So make yourself, in terms of your physical environment, set it up to win. And in terms of your friends, making sure you have right peer groups when you're doing stuff. It's not to say you can't have friends who aren't into exactly the same personal growth things as you, but finding people who can support you most often. The second thing is get people who are really going to push you as well. Getting those people who can really get you to compete so you can be the better version of yourself as well. And the third thing is get yourself into a peak state daily so it's less effort. If you're on a place where, Tony Robbins said something really profound once. He said, I remember this strategy. He said most people they'll try and do a strategy, they'll try and do something, and then they hope the story in their head changes, and then their state on how they're feeling will change. He said it's the other way around. Get yourself in a good state, a strong, amazing state regularly, and then the story will change in your head, and then the strategy will follow more effortlessly. So if you can work on feeling good and really revving yourself up to feel good more often than not, then things are going to be a lot more effortless. The fourth thing I would say is find different environments for different work or different conditions in your life. Sitting on the sofa whilst I'm working, I've not found so good. Now I'll do it now and then if it's something easy and there's something good on TV. I try and sit in an upright place, my chair mounted in a really good position, because that's where I know I'm working. I know my bedroom is for sleeping. I know the bathroom is for washing. And that keeps it very straightforward in my mind. Now, I live in quite a small place, so I just use the sofa for relaxing when I'm chilling or whatever, right? Whether I've got mates over playing something or whatever, right? So that's what I wanted to share on those first few points. Just want to mention before I get on to my final point at the end is, once again, if you want a specific topic on this podcast, then please leave it in the comments below in the poll. So the final thing I'm going to say is, why power over willpower? Why power? Like, it's a very cliche thing, but it's very, very true. Sometimes we have an unconscious strong why we're doing something, right? It's like why we go to work. Like, if you're like, the thing is, you know it's for your money, but deep down, you know that money is tied to your survival, so you make it a must to turn up to work, right? Even if like part of that's unconscious. When you can get really clear on your why towards something, and not just like a why of like, oh, I want to help build hospitals all around the world, or I want to save the world from starving. Now, those things are amazing and beautiful, by the way. And if they're on your heart, that's amazing. Yet the thing is, I realized that I've many times said things that I just thought sounded good or what other people wanted me to say. So make sure your why is real. If you've got a dream of traveling the world and just having fun and living free, and you feel guilty about that, don't do it. Don't feel guilty. That's your true why, right? And that, if you got that, it's going to drive your behavior a lot more than if you're just relying on willpower. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here, and remember to leave with your heart and not with fear.